All righty. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the MSAD 15 School Board Business Meeting here at the lovely Pennell Complex in Gray. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know where Ann is, and so I'm going to declare a quorum and call this meeting to order. Please join me in pledging allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Good to see such a great crowd here tonight. I'm sure you'll want to know about our upcoming meetings. On May 10th, we'll have our Personnel and Finance Committee meetings at the central office at 5:30 and 6:30 respectively. There is a Curriculum Committee meeting on May 17th at the high school library at 5:30. On May 18th, very important date, we will be having our annual town meeting budget validation vote, and that is on a Thursday. It's different for us. Why it's always on Thursday, I don't know, but it's May 18th. It is in the high school cafetorium at 6:30 p.m. And that is where we have a public meeting style vote on all of the articles on our warrant. And then should that pass, it goes to the ballot in June. So a very important meeting, make sure you attend. May 24th, we have Policy Committee meeting at 5:30 in the high school library. On June 7th, we have our last school board full business meeting of the year. We have our retiree recognition at that time, and that's here in the Pennell Complex again. And then on June 13th, we vote on our budget and anybody who happens to be running for the school board or other municipal offices. And on June 14th, we have our first school board meeting of the next year, where we validate the budget vote and seat the new members of the board and elect our chair and vice chair for the 23-24 year. It's amazing that we're coming to a close of 22-23. So with all of that said, are there any additions or adjustments to the adjusted agenda that we got earlier today? Maggie, we good? Good. Okay, are there any comments from the audience? Fran, go ahead. Just let everybody know who you are.
Hi, I'm Fran Monroe, and I have 3 questions. The first one is, I'm not sure if you addressed this yet or not, but it was about the error that the state made in the funding distributions to the towns and to school districts. And I'm wondering how much is supposed to be, if you heard how much is supposed to be coming to Greater New Gloucester, and when it might happen, and what you're going to use the money for when it does come. Second, something that, I would think should be discussed. Second is, I noticed that there's a lot of new hires for tonight and other positions, and would that be all pending on the approval of the school budget? The contracts, does it say, or is it already a done deal? I'm not sure how that works. And then the third one has to do with the policy that's on the agenda for volunteers. So I read through that, and so I'm not sure that if, say, a sheep farmer wants to come to school for the day or so and, teach kids about sheep raising, and would that particular person be subject to, the background search and fingerprinting and all that type of stuff? It's not very clear. It talks about the volunteers, and it talks about, criminals and that type of thing, but it doesn't talk about the length of time of volunteering. So if it was for a semester, I can see, but if it isn't a semester, what designates, what will trigger that type of interview? And also, it talks about level 2 background check, and it doesn't identify what a level 2 background check is. I think something like that should be in the document, so when you're reading it, you'll know what what it means. It seems to be omitted from the document. And then, so is there any exception? And the only other question is there any exception to someone who does have a criminal record as to the limit of the criminal record? In other words, obviously, someone who's been convicted for crimes that against people and stuff like that is one type of criminal record, but maybe it was habitual driver, speeding type violations, and has, found their way and has been rehabbed and, or whatever you might say. They're precluded forever from being part of their children's participation in,
Probably
school
not.
activities. So
No.
that basically is what I
Yep, Fran.
have
time-
questions with that
time's up.
policy.
Yep,
Okay? That's all I
Fran.
have.
thanks, Fran. Okay, any other public comment? You guys in the front? You sure? Get 2 minutes. All right. Can I hear a motion on the minutes from the business meeting on April 5? It's quite all right.
I
It's
move
not
that-
your job, anybody could have done it.
I move that we accept as printed the minutes of the April 5 regular business meeting.
Second.
Discussion on that, anybody see anything? All right, all in favor? All right, how about the April 26th business meeting?
I move that we accept as printed the minutes of the April 6 regular business meeting.
26th.
26.
Second, any discussion on that? All right, seeing none. Thank you. Okay, we have a nice and extensive recognition section, which is always my favorite part of the meeting. Why don't you kick us off, Dr. King?
Okay, bus driver John Stoltz won first place in the driving competition at the spring conference of the Maine Association of People Transportation.
Nice,
And, yeah,
that's awesome.
and he's also a big Patriot parent. He helps out with a lot of stuff at school, after school. Ninth grader Hope Handley won the Maine Department of Education 2023 logo competition for the Maine Learning Technology Initiative. Hope has also designed the T-shirt logo for the new GNG Ultimate Frisbee team. So,
Great.
congratulations.
Nice job, Hope, huh? Great. How about that?
And then we have our annual 2023 top 10% graduates. Normally, we do that in June, but graduation was very early this year, so we decided not to bring them back to school after they graduated.
Do you guys know how thoughtful your superintendent is? I was gonna drag you back after you graduated, but he thought today was better.
So, as is tradition, we'd like you to come and introduce yourself at the podium, who you are and what you're doing next year.
So, good evening, and I am honored to be here to welcome our class of 2023 top 10%. We have a few that I'd like to mention before I turn it over to them that weren't able to be here tonight. We have Emily Berry, who will be attending Ithaca College in New York, majoring in television and digital media production. We also have Kylie Russell, who will be attending the University of Southern Maine. She's currently undeclared, but considering a major in English. And Sky Chandler, who will be attending the University of Farmington for early childhood.
Great.
Hi, my name is Ashleen Perkins, and I am attending Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida, and I will be majoring in business marketing and social entrepreneurship.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Emma Hutchings. I will be attending the University of New England, and I'm going to be majoring in marine sciences and applied mathematics.
Great.
Hi, I'm Lexi Hutchings, and I will be attending Boston University and studying biology.
Excellent.
Hello, my name is Jason Hart. I will be attending UMaine Orono, and I will be majoring in biochemistry.
Jason, is there any relation?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Annabelle Finney, and I'm going to be going to a 10-month dance program in East Hampton, Massachusetts called the CLI Conservatory.
Wow.
Hi everyone, I'm Michael Maines. Some of you might recognize me. I was here talking about the Consider Engineering program a few months ago. I don't know what I'm going to be studying yet, but I'll be attending Harvard College in the fall.
Wow. There we go. Harvard.
Hi, I'm Jenna Lynch. I'm going to the University of Maine in Orono, and I'm majoring in nursing.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Catherine Morris. I will be attending Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts in the fall, and I plan to study philosophy.
Let's go.
Hello, I'm Andrew Farrington, and I'll be attending the University of Maine Orono, and I will be majoring in engineering.
Great.
Hi, I'm Miles Post. I will also be attending UMaine Orono, and I am studying biomedical engineering.
Wow. Round of applause. That is a spectacular roster of accomplishments. Congratulations to you all. That is really awesome. And congratulations to our staff at the high school who has produced such great kids. And your parents are probably pretty decent too, you know. I can't really vouch for them, but that's amazing. It's every year, seems like we've got kids going farther afield and doing more interesting things, and I just love the spectrum. I'm glad that we still see some philosophy and dance. Nice work, you guys. That's awesome. And also, we always say this, we are not in any way offended should you have something better to do than sit through the rest of the school board meeting. So that is completely up to you. Well, it'll be very entertaining. You are welcome to go elsewhere. Up to you.
Well, they passed the first test.
Had they stayed, we would have been troubled, yes. Thank you guys for coming. It really means a lot to us. Thank you.
That's my son.
That is pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome.
And the girl that's going to Smith was waitlisted at Harvard.
Yeah,
And we have a girl like on a Vassar, but she was in season to come.
just awesome. Yes. Yes. It's a great family. All right, let's move on with our business now that our crowd has thinned a little bit. We have a lot of people to appoint and hire. So let's start with Devin. Generally, the way we do these is we do a motion and a second, and then have introductions in the discussion, and then vote. So should you feel like moving, that would be great.
Motion to appoint Devin Goya, occupational therapist, Dunn School, to a first probationary contract.
Second.
All right, is Devin here?
Devin's not here.
All right.
Would you like me to introduce anyone?
Yeah.
She was not able to make it, but Devin is coming to us with 7 years of experience as an occupational therapist. Graduated from the University of Maine Farmington in 2012 with a Bachelor's of Arts in Biology, and then graduated from Hudson University in 2015 with a master's degree in occupational therapy. She will serve as our 3rd and 4th grade OT 4 days a week, replacing the retirement that we have. And the 5th day of the week, and these won't be strictly by day, but she will serve our pre-K population, and this is part of our move to bring CDS services in under our own umbrella. And so we're very excited to be able to make that position a 5-day-a-week position and have her there for the whole week. So we're excited to have Devin join our staff and work with all 3 grade levels. So
Great.
Yep.
Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, thanks, Jeff. Next up, Erica.
I move we appoint Erica Stevens, special education teacher, Russell School, to a first probationary contract.
Second.
Are you like the designee tonight?
I am.
Okay.
Yep. Erica, come on over.
Oh, great, here we go. It's always much more fun when you're.
Let Sadie get out?
Huh?
Let Sadie get away?
Oh, it's shoot wasn't for her, so. Hi, by the way, I'm Jeff Robbins, principal of the Bethel. So I am pleased to introduce for Mr. Blake, who was not able to be here this evening, Erica. Erica is going to serve as a supportive learning classroom teacher at Russell School. In 2014, she received her bachelor's degree in rehabilitation services from UMF. Most recently, she has been completing additional coursework in the area of special education through the University of Maine Farmington Spark program. And she has worked as a with special education students in various capacities over the last several years. She's coming from as an assistant teacher and BHP at the Collaborative School in New Gloucester, so right across the street. Could come over to Dunn School, but that's okay. And she's been in Ed Tech 3 at Margaret Murphy Center for Children, and worked as a case manager for children in therapeutic foster care and children with developmental disabilities. So she currently lives here in MSAD 15 with her husband and 2 children, and her kids will be attending Russell School this fall as well. So Mr. Blake is very excited to have you join, and welcome to MSAD 15.
Yeah, thank you for coming here, Erica. Appreciate it. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? Awesome. Congratulations, Erica. Thank you. It's great. Very exciting. Oh, we got a French teacher.
All right, I move we appoint Nancy Boucher, world language French teacher, middle school, to a first probationary contract.
Second.
All right.
All right, I'm really happy to introduce Nancy Boucher. She, as you guys have seen in the package, she comes with some great experience. She spent the last 4 years working with multilingual students in the Lewiston system. Has some great world experience that is really neat. And that's one of the things that I think we always strive to do, is have a really great cross-section of people with different life experiences and different backgrounds that really benefit our kids. Aside from the things that were otherwise mentioned from Superintendent King, one of the most impressive things through the interview process for us was the connection that Nancy makes with kids and families. The really strong bond that she had in Lewiston, and that was just reinforced by every one of her references, that she makes really strong connections with kids, really values our students, values their families, values their backgrounds, and we're just really excited to, as well, to have French as another offering at the middle school, so.
Great.
Nancy.
Great. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor? Awesome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Très bien, I hesitate to say. That is really fantastic. Thank you so much. Huh? Duzinski, yeah.
I move we appoint Patricia Duzinski, Assistant Special Education Director, to a 3-year contract.
Second.
Come on up.
So I am happy to introduce Patricia Duzinski to be the Assistant Special Education Director. She has been serving for the last 10 weeks or so on a trial basis, and we went through an interview process and a convincing process, and she is going to take the position. She's been with us since she began at the Monticello School in 1992 in Lewiston, and she has a lot of experience in Virginia and California before she came here. She has her master's degree in exceptionality from the University of Maine, and she did her BA in biology at the University of Holy Cross. And she has been at the Russell School, followed by the Dunn School is that correct? Yeah?
Memorial School in 2000.
Memorial School in 2000.
And then
And then
3
the
years
Dunn
there,
School.
Then Dunn School, yeah. Long time.
The current director describes her as a rock star. And I have looked at her background and everything that we have done in this school district with special education, IEP, new training, new professional development, outreach to parents, instructional practice with students. Patricia's been right at the forefront, and she's been serving as a teacher leader. So I'm very, very pleased to present her to the board to be our assistant director.
Excellent. Any further discussion? Thanks to the Personnel Committee for all the work on defining this position and making sure we hired the right person, and thank you so much for taking the role. We really appreciate it.
Look forward to it.
All in favor? There we go. All right.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you.
All right, I move we appoint Holly Day, Special Education Director, to a 3-year contract.
Second.
Good evening.
Howdy.
I'd like to introduce to you our candidate for the new special education director. We went through a very long process, an interview process, and Miss Day has long experience. She got her early childhood education degree at Westchester University, and she did her master's degree in special education at the University of Maine at Orono. She has extensive experience with child development services, with varying degrees of authority, and she became the special ed director at RSU 16 next door. Had a long conversation with her superintendent, and nothing but good things to say about her. I checked her other references, and people say authentic is a word that came up. Real McCoy knows how to work with people, so we are very thrilled. And we're also happy with the extensive child development services background, because there's been so many changes on the 3-year-old plus program. So we're very happy to have Ms. Day joining us as a special ed director, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to the new opportunity.
Any further discussion? Yep, go ahead.
You know I wasn't going to stay quiet.
Yeah, no.
I've known Holly for over 15 years. You're not only getting a high level of expertise, you're getting a commitment to values that will be a strong addition to the overall administrative team and the leadership team for the district. So you got lucky. You got lucky. She's going to be here probably until you retire, right?
Probably till I retire. That is my plan.
That'll be a good thing.
And I'm only 30, so we have a long way.
Wow.
You've been so busy. All in favor? Excellent. And you also do have big shoes to fill. Paula
Yes, I do
she has been a rock for us, and we will miss her a lot. But great to have you on board. Thank you. All right, keep rolling.
I move we appoint Carrie Bauman, Special Speech Language Pathologist, Memorial School, to a first probationary contract.
Second.
All right. You can sit in the front there, Jessica. You don't have to watch.
I need the steps, right? So I'm happy to introduce to you Carrie. She couldn't be with us. She's currently working and living in Utah, so it would have been a bit of a trip. She is a licensed speech pathologist with 25 years of experience. She graduated from Texas Tech University with a Bachelor of Science in Communication Disorders and has a master's degree in Communication Disorders from Texas Women's University. She has worked with students from pre-K through junior high school, and is most recently, as I said, working in the Ogden School District in Utah, and has also worked in Texas schools. She will be relocating to Maine and will live here will live in Auburn. And I know the Memorial School team is very excited to have her. So,
Great. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right. Do we know how this Utah resident came by our school district?
I think she was looking to relocate to Maine, and so,
Exciting.
yeah.
She comes from a military spouse, and they had served at the Brunswick Naval Air Station, and they really liked Maine, so now that her spouse is retired, they're coming to Maine.
I like it. Good job marketing Maine.
All right. I move we appoint Christina Keeps, third, fourth grade teacher to Dunn School to a first probationary contract.
Second.
So Christina couldn't be with us because she's in Hawaii. She's the military spouse who's retiring, coming to Maine. That's okay.
Whoops.
Yeah. So Christina currently is a first grade teacher at a Catholic school in Hawaii. And as her husband is retiring, the family's moving back here because they spent some time in Brunswick, where she was at the Jordan Acres Elementary School in 2005, 2006. She also substituted in the Portland schools during that time, and they are excited to come back. She is a graduate of the University of Pittsburgh in 1998 with a degree, bachelor's degree in dental hygiene, but then got her master's degree in 2001 from the University of Pittsburgh in education. She has spent 13 years teaching and has taught all over the country, including Maryland, Texas, Florida, Maine, Nebraska, and Hawaii. So she has well-traveled, and she's taught a variety of grade levels. She's in a small school right now. She teaches first grade, but she also is the sixth grade math teacher at that school. So she has a wide range of experience, and we are really excited to have her come and join us at Dunn School. She's going to teach fourth grade. So, yep.
Awesome. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? Great. I love it when we're bringing people in from around the country.
Before you get too far, I move we appoint Thaley Donahue, pre-K teacher, Dunn School, to a second probationary contract.
Second.
Yeah, so we weren't going to introduce Thaley tonight because she has actually been in the district for a year. She has served in the pre-K program as a classroom teacher, doing a one-year maternity leave for Melissa Krause. Melissa Krause is going to be moving to the special education position that is opening in pre-K, and so Thaley is going to stay on in the classroom positions even. So she's really just getting a second contract. But,
Great.
yeah, we're really excited that we have that opportunity to keep her.
All right, further discussion? All in favor? Great. Well, that is a great slate. I'm not going to make you nominate all of these people individually. There are a lot of teachers that are up for their second probationary contract, so why don't I hear a motion to nominate all of the teachers in the chart on the agenda for a second probationary contract, unless there are objections to that?
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
brilliant. Any further discussion on that? All right, all in favor? Excellent. Okay, let's move into the policy portion of our meeting. Can I hear a motion on policy IJOC?
You skipped the.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was all part of 9. I'm sorry. Can I hear a motion to nominate the teachers in the box on the agenda for a continuing contract?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Great. Hey, thank you guys for coming. It really means a lot to us to see your faces. Thank you. Rick, we've seen your face, so.
You've seen my face enough.
It's always nice.
All right, now we're in the policy section. Sorry about that. I thought it was just a page break. All right. Let's move into policy. Policy IJOC.
I move we approve policy IJOC, volunteers, community partners, and visitors.
Second.
All right, discussion, Chair.
So this was just one of the up for general review. We did not make any significant changes outside of our typical updating of grammar, pronouns. Otherwise stays the same as recommended by the admin team.
Any, yep.
I just have a quick question. You can see it from the heading that it was reviewed March 2nd of '22, and now we're reviewing it again May 3rd of '23. I just kind of want to be brought up to speed. How's this interval set?
Generally, we are working through them, like, it takes about 3 years to get through all of them. This one, there were so many laws passed that we just wanted to check it against. There's like 100 laws passed in the last 2 years, and a lot of them involved like people in the school, especially after COVID. So we just want to take a look at it and make sure none of the legal references changed or anything.
And everything was cool except your, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And in terms of, you know, volunteers versus visitors, one of the things that Craig has been really adamant about is that volunteers mean that they are, you know, an active role under the supervision of one of our staff members. We don't have volunteers like unsupervised. They're always, you know, under somebody else. So we just made sure, Maggie actually is the one that, you know, processes all the volunteer applications. We just made sure that also the policy represents what we actually do. So we went through that too.
So what level of involvement does it, like in Fran's remarks at the opening of the thing, like somebody comes in to do a demonstration, they wouldn't be subject to a background check, but what
They
level
would be
does a
a
background check
visitor.
kick
Yeah,
in?
they'd be a visitor. The volunteers are when they have like a role. So for instance,
Somebody in the greenhouse or something?
yeah,
Is that
or like for
routinely?
instance, I help out with the baseball team throwing batting practice with like a regular position, so I go through the background process for that. I got the fingerprints and all that kind of jazz. It's, you know, something with a recurring role that we are filling versus like a one-time sort of deal.
And these are well defined in the policy. If people take a look at the materials in advance, a visitor is an individual with a short-term supervised encounter. You know, so someone who might come, you know, to share a career or whatever, where a
Depends on your
volunteer.
definition of short.
You what?
It depends on your definition of short. I mean, you know, they did it in the Bill Clinton-esque
Yeah.
background.
Well, and I'm sure a building principal would be happy to clear that up.
All right, any further discussion?
Yep.
Yep.
Fran raised another legitimate question on level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Level 1's never mentioned. And level 2, I assume the defining element there is fingerprinting as opposed to background check.
Yeah, so we have an agency, so all employees, regardless of what their work category is, goes through the NDOE process of background check, fingerprinting, so on and so forth. For the volunteers, what's the level 2 is we use an agency that does a background check with the state police. And they'll spit out a report that will say this person is fine, they have no criminal background check. There are some that come through, they might have a misdemeanor come through, and when that happens, they get sent to my desk. And I'll look at it, and for example, maybe they got pulled over by the police in Orono 23 years ago, and I'll sign off and say, yeah, it's okay if this person who, you know, was at a party in Orono and maybe drove after when they were in college, now that they're 42 and have not had any kind of problems in 23 years, yes, they can come in and volunteer. And I probably get maybe 10 of those a year. I think I've only had 2 that are of a serious criminal background, and those don't usually come through and participate. And many of these are what I call one-offs. There might be an event at school, like the kids might be going to the apple orchard for their annual apple orchard trip, and they want a chaperone. So they would fill out that volunteer form, and it would go through that check with the agency that goes through the state police for us. So that's our level of security.
So that was level 1.
No, that's
level 2.
That's the level 2.
All right. As I'm reading this, it's getting confusing because level 2, the sentence says, level 2 is defined as requiring fingerprinting as part of the screening process. That seems to be in addition to that kind of more generalized background check.
I guess I just read that as the type of background check that's required. Like, there's not a level 1 visitor, right? Isn't that just the definition of the type of
Just my
background check?
point, I'm thinking that the terminology there is less than completely clear.
It's less than clear. So when you hire an agency to do that kind of work for you, there's different packages you could buy. So this is the level 2 that does probably a notch below what the state would do for the actual fingerprinting.
No, it says level 2 is defined as requiring fingerprinting as part of the screening process.
Yep.
Right.
So might need to double check that then, but
Yeah, I think clarification of the wording would help. The intent, I don't see any issue with the intent.
I'm struggling to understand what the non-clear part is. Yeah,
If I may.
help me out.
So, I think the clarification part is what level is whatever level it is. So level 1, level 2. So the easiest way to solve this issue right now is put a definition in there what a level 1 is and what a definition of a level 2
level
is.
2 is.
Yep.
Because the volunteers are not fingerprinted.
Correct.
But that's not a level 1, right? It's a level 2 is a type of background check.
But what is a level 1? If there's a 2, there's gotta be a 1.
Not in this
I'm not saying it's in here.
here.
I'm not saying it's in here, but if you're gonna,
So if we're gonna define level 2, we have to also define level 1.
Yes, that's the point.
Is
Okay.
there a level 1 background check? Yes, Google thinks so.
All right.
Would you like
So
to
we
bring
like
this?
to table this till revisit?
Yeah, I would hear a motion to send it back to the policy committee.
Second.
Yeah, so moved or
All
whatever.
right. Any further discussion on that?
No, I apologize. That is something that I missed that I probably should have checked
Well, I
before.
mean, this exact policy passed the board just a year ago, so.
Yeah.
Missed it back
There's
then.
still discussion, yep, go ahead, Jason.
Not to belabor it, but
Feel free.
aren't we already in a motion?
We are in a motion to set that motion aside.
So we're amending the original motion?
Yes.
Okay, just want to be clear.
I just have a question, I think for the edification of the audience, is there shelf lives on a background check and fingerprints?
The fingerprints for people.
Meaning, if they come back, how?
Well, if somebody gets fingerprinted 10 years ago and they go to another school, do they need to get fingerprinted again?
Yeah.
So what's the interval? Is it
So-
just when they change employers, or is it every 10
So-
years?
So for volunteers, they fill out a volunteer form every year.
Yeah, once a year.
Yeah, so for an employee, it's done through the Maine Department of Education, and it's a 5-year attached to your certificate, and it's good for any school district in Maine. So if you change jobs, as long as you're within that 5 years, you're okay.
Thank you. It wasn't specifically related to this issue, but I think it's an interesting thing for people to realize that these things have to be done 5 years for employees and whatnot.
Sure. All right, all in favor of sending back to policy to define level 1? All right, we shall do that. Okay, let's move on to
All right.
number 12, IGA.
I move we approve policy IJ, curriculum development and review.
Second.
Okay. Penny?
Yes, I'm just looking for this one. Okay, so this is help me, Dr. King, this is new, correct? Was this the one that was new, or we don't have a previous date on it?
The curriculum development?
No, this was the one that we are.
replacing?
We're replacing, right? So, we had Chanda present about this
Yeah.
at the policy committee,
So-
right?
So this is a replacement, this as recommended, by our, sorry, I'm searching for the initials.
MSMA.
The MSAD, thank you. And the administration did like this one and thought we should replace ours with it. It gets at the same things. It's nicely worded. The only thing is we eliminated the optional recommendation you'll see on line 53 to appoint a member of the board as a liaison on curriculum committee, because we actually have a standing board curriculum committee in place. And elimination of the word course descriptions on line 57. That was recommended to give some flexibility in things like electives and such, basically getting in the weeds at a level that we don't really need to be in. That our approval is well maintained at the curriculum guide level.
Any questions, concerns, discussion? All right, all in favor? Great. Okay, let's go to GCS.
I move we approve policy GCS, professional research in publishing.
Second.
So this is a review.
It's just we hadn't looked at it since 2013.
Been 10 years. It has held the test of time. We're removing a hashtag and updating a pronoun. Otherwise, it stays the same.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, KDB, as in boy.
All right. I move we approve policy KDB, public's right to know, freedom of access.
Second.
This would be a replacement, so a new adoption, and just some simple word choices here around superintendent's designee, as we do not have a assistant superintendent. Putting in the fees for things which were at the maximum allowed and suggested rate of 10 cents for copying and $25 per hour after 2 hours of staff time. And just inserting our school district.
Discussion? All right, all in favor? Great, okay, moving right along. Okay, so now we are into the warrant articles for the budget. The first item is whether we want to have open or closed articles. This is perhaps for the education of new board members or anybody watching. Open articles would allow, when we get to the town meeting, for the public to adjust the number of any article in either direction, either down or up. Closed articles would mean that they could only be moved down. Traditionally, ever since I've been on the board, we have used closed articles in that we felt that if someone came in, we did not know where we could get the revenue to go higher. And so we have always, in my experience, used closed articles, but I'm open to hearing a motion on either. Normally, it's our finance chair who makes the motion. She's not here, but we do have a former finance chair among us and numerous veterans.
Would you like me to make a motion? I'll make a motion that we continue and move towards closed articles.
Second. All right, any discussion on that? All right, all in favor? Thank you. Okay. For the rest of these, I'm going to ask people to read that motion that is underneath the number, if someone should want to make that motion and had a mellifluous voice and wanted to go ahead and do that. But we are now basically approving the warrant for the budget meeting, approving the warrant for the notice for election, approving the notice of the amounts adopted at the budget meeting, These are generally formalities. We've already voted on the number at our last meeting.
I move that the warrant for the Maine School Administrative District 15, the district, budget meeting presented to the meeting be approved and that a district budget meeting be called for May 18th, 2023 for the purpose of voting on the annual budget for the district for the 2023-2024 fiscal year.
I second it.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Okay, next up.
I move that the warrant and notice of election for the district budget validation referendum presented to the meeting be approved, and that a district budget validation referendum be called for June 13th, 2023, for the purpose of approving the budget adopted at the district budget meeting for the 2023-2024 fiscal year.
Second.
Any discussion on that one? All in favor? Okay, last but not least.
I move that the notice of amounts adopted at budget meeting presented to this meeting be approved, and that the superintendent of schools of the district be authorized and directed to complete said notice in accordance with the district budget meeting on May 18th, 2023, and to cause copies of said notice as completed to be delivered to the municipal clerks of each municipality of the district for posting at the polling places for the June 13th, 2023 district budget validation referendum.
Second.
All right, any discussion on that? All in favor? All right, great. So Maggie, you got those things for us to sign. On these, when we sign them, we need to sign them with the pens.
And on the same line on every document.
Right, you can't move your signature around. If you're number 3 line, you gotta stay on number 3 line.
And
It's
use
very
my pen,
serious.
don't use your pen, please.
Gotta be black ink.
Yes, Maggie.
Thank you.
She's
And I
so
give her
rarely
the
authoritarian. Mm.
She wore her all black outfit to show she was in business. I think it's a deep navy. Yeah, I think it's. What do you think? You think it's black? I think it's navy. My eyes are
Could be navy.
Oh, jeez.
Your pens don't work.
They do, I checked them before I left.
My signature is wonky.
Front page news, district can't come up with working pens.
Ready to do speed signing.
There we go. Just needed a
We're down the
kickstart.
line.
Gotta pass the pen down with the.
Oh. Yeah, well, you get lawyers involved and things get screwed
Isn't there 18 articles?
I'm sorry.
Pen just travel with me.
up. As soon as I'm done with it.
Pen, you needed to keep your pen.
He says the pens should
I
travel,
guess
it doesn't
there's
travel the
four,
pen.
there's 4 sheets and only 3 pens.
And only 3 pens, right.
There we go. Voila.
Sorry. Your jacket's black, right?
It is.
It's black, it's not navy. Wait, I don't have the same line. My line is not available.
That's right, you can do it.
Wow. Wow.
Look, I changed the flight for this.
You did.
So, just okay that,
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where we're gonna start.
You changed the flight.
I'm gonna change the flight.
You're serious about your service.
Actually, just don't know how to keep a calendar.
thank you.
Did you have any trouble with flooding injuries?
No.
Not really. They had a lot in Gloucester. Buses that had to reroute.
That came short of this.
Yeah, some of the buses had to do some fancy.
Sir?
I should check out the mushroom.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
6, 7 years ago now.
Okay, everybody's all signed up, Maggie?
Yes.
Excellent, thanks, everybody. We will see you on Thursday, the 19th, 18th, what is it?
18.
Thursday, the 18th. We will see you in the cafetorium. Okay, let's keep going. Committee reports, facilities committee. Do you want to do it, Gary? Or you want me to do it?
I wasn't even there for a lot of it, so I'll defer to you.
Okay. So we just got a update on some maintenance activities. Things that are worthy of note are we have a second estimate now in for the playgrounds, and we'll be making decisions soon on that. We are using ESSER money for that, as people will remember, and if we make the call on that, we should be able to get those installed in August before the kids come back, so that would be really exciting to have really nice new playground equipment at Russell Memorial and Dunn for the fall. So that's an excellent use. That'll also put together the playground equipment that still needs to be put together at the middle school. We have unfortunately discovered that the hopefully more efficient propane would not be more efficient for the burner at Memorial due to we would have to put in a whole new HVAC system, so we're probably going to stick with oil there. We're going to spend about a total of $45,000 in money that we have in this capital investment budget right now for the heating system to, I don't know, put in more parts to the hot water heater, which has been persnickety, as Craig likes to say, all year. We examined all the options, got a couple reports on it, and that's where we decided to go. Otherwise, everything is going like gangbusters. The other piece of the facilities committee, which I won't go into as extensive detail, but we went through the responses that we got to the listening session survey for the bond, or potential bond, and some really interesting stuff. It is still open if you're out there and wondering what I'm talking about. Craig sent out a notice to everybody in our database asking them. Also, the NG Exchange put it out for us, asking people to watch the presentation that I gave at the high school last Tuesday and respond to some questions about their priorities and their enthusiasm for different parts of the potential solutions. We had 28 responses after the in-person session. We've received 40 more responses since then, and just really want to thank everybody who took the time to respond so far. It's a long presentation to sit through. It's about an hour and a half, and then we do ask you to go through a few questions. One of the things I'm really happy about is 44 of the 68 respondents gave us some sort of text response in the, tell us whatever you want. So a lot of people took the time. Some of them are very extensive, a lot of great ideas. And we've got a lot of feedback already. People are very enthusiastic, especially about the potential for a performing arts center and the kitchen cafeteria. Those were really what rose to the top in terms of the enthusiasm. But we also have more than 60% of the people who answered on a scale of 1 to 10. They said that their enthusiasm was 8, 9, or 10 for a project that included all 4 sort of potential pieces: the fields, the gym, the cafeteria, and the Performing Arts Center. So that's really good feedback. We also asked, this is a question I wasn't sure how it was going to go. We asked, given all the information presented and regardless of what total plan goes forward, what do you think is the most amount of money the towns of Gray and New Gloucester would support with a bond? And 48.6% of people chose the top option. Totally depends on the plan, but more than 25 million isn't out of the question. So I think that goes right along with the feedback that we were sort of hearing after the first listening session, is that people are ready to support this as long as we do all of our homework and dot all of our I's and cross all of our T's. They are enthusiastic about what would be the first real substantial upgrade to the high school complex since 2007, 2008, really. More to come on that. Our goal is to try to get more shape around this by our last meeting in June, so that we can give the next board a clear sort of direction on how to go forward. I'm not sure we're going to have the plan figured out, but I think we know what information potentially is missing, and we have some directional stuff. And I want to encourage people. I'd love to get even more responses to this, so I'm going to leave it open. We'll probably maybe send out one more reminder, and then maybe close it probably a week from today, something like that. And then I'll do a full analysis. There's a few questions where I can do some analysis of the numbers and averages, and I can put together a presentation for that probably at the next facilities committee meeting and in June, so that we can have another look at the data. But just really encouraging, not so much the answers, but just that how many people participated and gave us our thoughts. Thanks to everybody who did that. Any questions on any of that for facilities? All right. So let's go to the Finance Committee. Oh, that's also me. In the Finance Committee, you saw the results of the Finance Committee in the budget meeting on April 26th. We just made the recommendations for what the final number would be, and listened to the 2 or 3 last points and had a little discussion. But what we voted on April 26th is what the Finance Committee recommended. So I don't think we need to talk any more about that. Personnel.
Okay, so the first thing we discussed in personnel on our last meeting, we heard a request to change our nomenclature for guidance counselors here in the district. Apparently, we are using outdated terminology. We're not opposed to that, but we did request to revisit it when we could also review the job descriptions for those positions as well, just to make sure everything is in alignment. So that's been tabled to our next meeting. I don't know if that's on the agenda yet, but that's what we put for the next meeting. Second, we heard about new hires, which was great. I'm not going to belabor that. A lot of those were covered this evening. What we heard about at that meeting was a director of special education, assistant director of special education, occupational therapist, and middle school French teacher who we got to meet tonight. There apparently have been some other new hires since then, which has been great to see. Third item on the list was hearing an update on gifted and talented budget. During the budget process, there was a request to increase the gifted and talented from 1.6 FTE to 2 FTE. The board wanted to get some more information back on that and deferred to the Personnel Committee. So they came to the Personnel Committee to give us more information about that request and justification for it. A lot of that was discussed in the last budget meeting, but the highlights are that we are required, I believe, 1.6 FTEs is what's required by the state currently. We currently have 1 FTE that is operating right now in the district, and we're having a lot of difficulty hiring a 0.6. So they think that bringing it up to a full additional FTE will allow us to hire another person. Plus, it will increase our ability to meet the needs of our gifted and talented students. So it was our recommendation. In that process, we moved to approve that increase to 2 FTE, and that's what went into the budget, which we all then approved. So next, we just heard an update on the support staff job descriptions being reviewed. And then finally, we entered into executive session to discuss a personnel matter. That was it.
Thank you, Jason. Any questions or thoughts about that? All right, great. Curriculum, Will.
April vacation.
April vacation, we didn't
Yes.
have a curriculum.
Everybody enjoyed it.
Great curriculum.
And the policy committee?
Policy committee is, pretty inclusive of all of the policies we went through earlier today. We did clean up, the relations with booster groups, to make sure they had the right, oversight depending on the type of group. And that is about it.
Yeah, remember we sent the policy back to, on the booster groups to policy, because there was, now that we have potentially
Athletics
performing
versus-
arts and athletics, we didn't want the athletic director to oversee the performing arts ones, so we adjusted that language per the direction of the board. All right, any questions on that? All right, chair report, that's me. I've been focused on getting those bond numbers together to make sure I can report that out. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, there is, sorry, there's one other thing I want to make sure to mention, which is, you've heard me talk about the plan for the Gateway land that the town of Gray is calling the Village Area Loop Trail, which would go around the old chicken shack in the land that we just bought in Gray. It abuts Russell School. And so just want to let people know, if they are interested in commenting on that, the planning board is meeting May 11th to review that plan and potentially give it the go-ahead. So if you have any concerns that you want to express, that is the place to do it. But I have been in communication with them. I did go on the site walk, and I was happy with their ideas for mitigating sight lines into the playground and for directing people sort of away from the school. So I thought they were doing a nice job of respecting our security concerns. Any questions on that? All right, go ahead, Craig.
Okay. I sent you something by email earlier today. It was from the Maine School Boards Association, and it's School Board Day at the State House, Tuesday, May 9th. School board members are encouraged to come to the State House on Tuesday, May 9th to meet with their legislators, visit the House and Senate, and show support for public education. Board members are asked to gather at 9:30 a.m. on the main floor of the Cross Office Building. And for me, it's one thing to email your legislator, it's another thing to send a letter to your legislator, but if you can talk to them face to face, that's oftentimes very effective. And you've just finished negotiating a teacher contract, you've just finished creating a budget, you've just finished doing a lot of policy work, and I think, maybe some of our legislators don't know what that actually entails or means. So if you have the opportunity to be in Augusta, just to have a conversation with your legislator and show, that would be great.
If I may, were I the person scheduling an event for a group of people that are probably 95% volunteers, many of them with jobs and professions, I probably wouldn't schedule it at 9:30 in the morning on a Tuesday in Augusta. So if anybody is listening from the MSMA and would like to organize something similar in the future, perhaps not the least convenient time during the work week is something we consider.
And if you're from Aroostook County, you have to take 2 days off to do it.
Monday would be worse, actually.
Maybe Monday's
Yeah,
worse, I don't know. I tend to blow Monday off, but Tuesday I really gotta do my job,
At your age.
I don't mean to be sarcastic, but I would really like to go to that, but that's a very inconvenient time.
New hires, Michael Emery, Ed Tech 2 at Memorial School. John Ostrovsky, Summer Field and Grounds Maintenance at Facilities. Heath Bowie, 7th grade boys lacrosse coach at middle school. Resignations, Erin Day, art teacher at the Dunn School. She will complete the school year, and that's it.
Excellent. Yeah, that was actually something else in facilities I forgot to mention, a piece of good news. With the hire of John, we're actually 2 employees ahead of where we were at this time last year for the maintenance of the fields. So it's very encouraging in terms of, you know, finishing up the school year strong and taking care of them this summer. That's great. I would hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Thank you so much. We are off the air.